There is no doubt that Hellblade: Senua's Saga is a game that I've been waiting on for quite some time. I remember watching the first trailer premiere at the Game of the Year Awards in 2019, and I immediately knew that I needed to play it as soon as I could. The team at Ninja Theory put so much effort into not only creating an immersive world, but wrapping mental health issues into a way that anyone can digest and experience. Senua's journey to retrieve the soul of her lost lover is over. A new journey is beginning. Setting out to stop those who have harmed the ones she loves, Senua lets herself get captured and transported to the world where it all began. A storm blows everything off course, and Senua must keep moving forward and following the signs laid before her in a journey that will not only test her mental fortitude, but the ability to become a leader that will show others that there's always a better way.
But plans can drift off course.
There is no doubt that the first thing you will notice in this game is just how stunning everything is. Utilizing Unreal Engine 5 to its fullest, Hellblade 2: Senua's Saga does everything it can to deliver an extremely cinematic experience, but sometimes to a fault. The first hour or so of gameplay sees you experiencing more than playing, comprising of long drawn-out sequences that will have you holding forward with a thumbstick to continue as the voices in Senua's head process what has happened and what is to come.
It's too late. You could have saved her. You didn't.
Even the combat has taken a more cinematic approach. Gone are the facing multiple enemies at once, and in its place are 1v1s with cinematic interludes between each instance. The landscape is vibrant and depressing at the same time, and you can utilize your focus to unlock hidden areas in the landscape in order to slowly unravel stories through trees or signposts that only seem random at first but slowly tie into the themes of the story. Speaking of, while Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice focused heavily on ideas like individualism being granted to someone who's been repressed and overcoming overwhelming odds and facing your fears, Hellblade 2 takes on what seems to be like every single aspect that people can feel. Everyone carries a darkness in them, and Senua's companions begin to look towards her for inspiration as she pushes herself to do things that others have claimed are impossible. In the end, the story told is one full of human emotions. Doubt, fear, love, betrayal, and the feeling that your past and your lineage dictate who you are just some of the stories you will go through in this short yet jam-packed adventure.
No more pain. No more doubt. Honored. Loved. Feared. Always true. Always right. Because they tell me so.
I'll admit that the first part of Hellblade 2 made me wonder what happened to Senua. I felt like I lost the intimate nature that I had experienced throughout the first game when she finds herself no longer alone and isolated. Add on to the fact that the cutscenes where you had to press up on the thumbstick in order to progress, I was just starting to feel a little let down. I never doubted that the game was beautiful, but I was starting to doubt how the upcoming experience was going to go, and I can say that while there were some hiccups here and there, I take back any sort of doubt I had during this time. There were some highlight moments like encountering the Dwegar and them summoning a giant with the subsequent build-up of finally being able to see it, but then again that was after playing for quite some time. Once Hellblade 2 was beginning to start to deliver its messages and themes, it rarely let go and only engulfed me into the world even further. The experience was only about 7 hours long, but those 7 hours felt like it took forever to get through in the best way possible. I even knew about the short length and kept asking myself how much more is there to this game whenever a new scenario was set up, only to be hit with the desire to continue following Senua, who gave me strange feelings that are a little hard to explain. I kept feeling like I was watching someone take up the mantle that they were made for throughout this process, and watching the other companions look to Senua for her advice and her unique perspective just filled me with pride and joy, even when experiencing the doubt and shame that she feels for her past. I feel like even with all this being said, there were some issues I had with the game. My biggest piece of advice I would give to anyone who wants to play this game is that they should just ignore the faces and ignore the signposts. Or at least don't get so focused on trying to find them like I did and miss out on something that happens because I'm trying to figure out if this rock kind of sort of looks like a face. I know there have been some complaints regarding the combat of the game, but personally, I really highly approve of the changes that they made. Aside from the boss fights, I think the first game just had repetitive combat sequences with a fairly basic enemy pool and style for fighting, and I felt like the changes made for the sequel made things more engaging and brought you into the experience by sometimes subverting when and where fights may be taking place. Senua's Saga delivers on music, story, visuals, and just about everything you would like to have in a game like this. I mentioned Indica should be nominated for tons of side categories in the Game of the Year awards, but as much as it pains me to say this, Hellblade should win those awards. Melina Juergens captured Senua's emotional state on so many levels that it'll be hard to convince me that anyone else deserves best performance. The soundtrack was full of emotion during the right times, and every step you took in the world was somehow more impressive than the last. I would likely rate Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga a 9 out of 10, and I admit that there is a little bias there with me already being a huge fan of the series, but when coming up with these sorts of ratings, I try to look up what others say to kinda make sure I'm not way off base with something that I may have missed, and oh my goodness! I normally don't do these sort of things, but I got so upset at seeing this rating that I had to check out the review for myself. The reviewer praised the music and the graphics, but basically trashed everything else about the game by saying the story falls short in offering a unique experience. Not only is this the most off-base take I've ever heard, but this person who craves unique experiences also gave Overwatch 2 an 8. You know, the game that was given a 1.5 rating by users on Metacritic and sits at 18% on Steam even though it's free? Now, I'm not saying that everyone needs to have the same opinion on things, and I got a few interesting comments on my Indica videos, but it is 100% okay to just say, hey, this game isn't for me, without trying to say that it's trash, has no merit, or whatever toxic thing you want to say. I welcome open dialogues about these sorts of experiences because I want more people to give them a go. I personally did not care for The Last of Us, but it doesn't mean I think that those games are bad. And yeah, maybe Hellblade 2 is a little overpriced, but something I see time and time again is the fact that it is on Game Pass, so you can easily pay $10 and beat it within a month. I really feel like there's no reason not to give this game a shot when you get the chance, but I feel like I have to stop there, otherwise I'll keep ranting for way too long. If you want to join the Discord to talk about all things games, there's a link below, but that'll be it for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, be kind to one another. Shout out to my patron supporters Relativity, Naughty Dog is King, Chaos, and Kamikolo, alongside all those subbed to my channel. The next video will include a giveaway, so make sure you check it out when it releases and be subbed in order to get a chance to win some free games.